Now we're going to really get into the strategy portion of this. So we're going to talk about the SweetSpot ranks because that's what's going to drive the optimizer, and it's also going to drive the marquee tee times. So my number one golfer in this field, Jon Rahm. No surprise. And then Scottie Scheffler, your defending champion. And Rory McIlroy. That's 1, 2, 3. Now, when it comes down to, the salaries, or I should say the rankings, I would just compare it to the salaries and just see who's kind of out of place. Like the first person that I see that I feels out of place is Jordan Spieth. $8,600. He's 27th in my model. I personally don't like him at this golf course, which means he's probably going to do well. Last time I said that, I think the WM Phoenix Open, he played well. Either way, I don't care. It's not something that I'm really going to try to force into my lineups. I'll let the optimizer choose if Spieth will be in my lineups or not. I also like to try to find low price guys that seem to be, or their ranking is better than their price tag. So like Cam Young, Tom Kim, they're above someone like Will Zalatoris and Sung J M. Colin Morikawa, I kind of like him this week, but the model doesn't quite like him. And just to talk about the model, what goes into these rankings, I'm looking at OWGR points. I'm looking at Bermuda stats. We're looking at stats going all the way back to 2013 for this average one here. Top 10 success rate also goes back to 2013, and then 1 full year's worth of Bermuda stats. So this is basically from today going all the way back to last API. All of these stats are watered down. So 50 is going to be your highest number, whereas like 100 is going to be your highest number in the OWGR. We don't have a grass 2. You don't have to concern yourself with that. I am looking at course history. That's TH, stands for tournament history. That's also weighted down 50%. So 50 will be your highest number there. We're looking at bogey avoidance, birdie or better, driving distance. Those to me are your best indicators for scoring opportunities. Recent form stats, we're looking at DraftKings points, their average finishing position, as well as their average round by round score. That also is all weighted down by 50. So 50 will be your highest point total there. Then we're looking at season long stats, which I don't weigh down at all. This is going back 1 full year worth of data. So we're looking at DraftKings points, their round by round scoring average, rounds under 70%, cut made percentage, and DK top 10 percentage. You can see some of these don't really get a huge, boost, and some of them don't really get hurt that much. But of course, you see some big differences. That obviously goes into a score, and you can see this is all sorted from top to the bottom, and that's what comes out with these rankings. Now, this point total right here, I use in the optimizer. So you can see if I were to zoom this or close this in, you can see 1207 here on the spreadsheet, the cheat sheet. 1207.66 is the metric score for Jon Rahm in my optimizer. So that's what I'm using in my optimizer to find the most optimal lineups. Of course, that's also going to follow the bucket system logic and the marquee tee times, which I'll be getting to here shortly. If whenever you get this, you want to change this to whatever you want, it's available to you. So if you wanted to change Jon Rahm's score to 2000, boom, you can do it right there. Super simple, super easy. I guarantee the optimizer will probably select him way more just because he's going to have that huge point total difference. Up to you guys. You can change it however you like. If you are going to make changes, I highly encourage you to just copy over in one of these empty cells whatever the point total is that you're about to change. That way you can remember what it is. I used to have a change. I should actually update that. Maybe I'll do that. You could click this button and it will reset to what the original points were. Anyways, what I was saying is the score goes into the optimizer. It also goes into the marquee tee times, which is basically me rank ordering the groups that are paired up together in this event. Now, I've been tracking this over, it's almost been 2 years now. And what I have found out, if you follow a simple rule, which I will state here shortly. It's over again. Sorry. Basic rule is you want to select 2 to 4 golfers that are in the marquee tee times. And then the second rule to that is don't select more than 1 golfer from a group. So what that looks like is that first group has Jon Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Collin Morikawa. This is my top ranked group. This is a marquee tee or a marquee tee time. If you like Jon Rahm, do not pair him up with Xander or Collin Morikawa. That's how this rule works. The reason being is you have a very low success rate of finding a GPP winning lineup this way, and you have an even lower success rate of finding an optimal lineup this way. And again, I've been tracking this over 2 years, so it's just analysis that I've been doing of reviewing every single week, seeing how this works out. And also just to provide more information to that, I forgot to go over the marquee tee times during the Honda Classic. If I did this with the Honda Classic, you can see it's already sorted by my marquee tee times. And if I were to do this every 3, what you're going to see is you're not going to find 2 golfers in a group together in either the Sweet Spot Optimal, the Optimal, or the GPP winning lineup. So here's this blue: Shane Lowry, Brandon Wu, Justin Suh, and Byung Hun An. Those were all in the GPP winning lineup. They're not grouped up together. Sepp Straka is in the optimal lineup, and so is Justin Suh. They're not playing together, and they're not paired up with anyone else. Now, it looks like Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry are playing the same group, but they're not. So when we look at the Sweet Spot Optimal, you've got Sepp Straka, Shane Lowry, and Ben Taylor. So all 3 different types of lineups, your optimal lineup, your GPP winning lineup, and your Sweet Spot Optimal, all had different combinations of these golfers, and they all were not in the same group, or there weren't golfers in the same group. So that's just proof that when you do look at the marquee tee times, if you're going to go with a Jon Rahm or a Xander or a Collin Morikawa, don't pair them up together. And in fact, I have this written into the code of the optimizer. This group functionality down here, you can see it's group 1 through 9. Well, guess what? There are 9 groups that I'm looking at. You can see that with the group rank right here. So 9 groups make up the marquee tee times. Those are in here, and you can see the group numbers right here. I am telling the optimizer, you don't want to select more than 1 from each of those groups. But down here, you want to select at least 2 of them, but no more than 4. So that is also in the optimizer, and when I go over the Sweet Spot Optimals, that's also being included. So all of it all goes hand in hand. So this whole journey is about how well the Sweet Spot process does every single week. Obviously, we took down a GPP last week. I mean, I didn't personally do it. The Sweet Spot Optimal lineup did. I didn't get there, but it's possible. It's doable. That's why I bring it up, and that's why we kind of go over this every single week. So that's the last piece, is to go over the marquee tee times, because that's what's going to go into building lineups.